Good morning, students. This is Rajesh Agarwal, your English teacher. In our previous lecture, we started our poem 4, A Thing of Beauty. In that lecture, we completed something about the poet, background of the poem, central idea of the poem, and then the summary of the poem. In this lecture, we are going to do the poem and its explanation. So let us start. Our stanza first is, A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness, but will keep a bower quiet for us and a sleep full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. First of all, let us see some special words of this stanza. Loveliness means beauty. Pass into nothingness means lose its being. Bower means a shady place under the tree. Quiet breathing means peace. Now let us see the explanation of stanza first. What stanza first says to us. The poet says that beauty stays forever. Means to say beauty is always there. We are to just feel the beauty. It never fades away. Means to say it never dies. Rather, it increases with the passing time. As the time passes, beauty increases. The perception of the poet regarding beauty is that it never goes off with the passing time. The poet wants to say that beauty never fades away or goes off with the passing of time. Rather, it beautifies more and more. Means its beauty increases day by day. For the poet, beauty is like a beautiful shady tree under whose shade all the creatures can sleep peacefully and enjoy good health. Beauty provides a shady tree. Under that shade, all the human beings, all the creatures can have a good health, have a peaceful sleep. So this is the explanation of this poem, stanza first. Now let us see what are the literary devices the poet uses in stanza 1. The very first is rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is A, B, B, C. And the words which are used at the last of each line is forever, never, keep, sleep, breathing. I hope you remember how to find out the rhyme scheme of the poems. What are to do? We are to see the last words of each line. The very first line's last word is forever. Next line's last word is never. Next is keep, then sleep, then breathing. Now next what we are to do? We are to see the pronunciation of each word. Forever. First of all we are to A. We write A. Forever and never. Matching words are there. Then again we are to write A. Then keep, pronunciation is different, so we use B. Sleep again, match with keep, same pronunciation, so we use B. Then breathing is the next new pronunciation, so we write C. In this way the rhyme scheme of this stanza is A, B, B, C. Then the alliteration. Use of consonant sounds at the start of two words which are close in series. For example, sleep, sweet. We can see same consonant sound S is repeated. So the poet uses alliteration. Then metaphor. Bower quiet. In metaphor, we compare two things. Bower quiet. Calmness of the bower is compared to the calming effect of a beautiful thing. In this way, the poet uses metaphor. So these are the rhyme schemes, these are the literary devices used by the poet in stanza first. Now come to stanza second. Therefore on every morrow means morning, are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. Spite of despondence, spite of means in spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways, made our made for our searching. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. First we will see some special words from this stanza. The very first word is morrow. Morrow means the following day, the next morning. Wreathing means covering or encircling. Despondence means disappointment, despair we can say. Dearth means lack. Noble natures means nice people. Gloomy means sad. Pall means covering. And dark spirits means sad or dejected heart. Now let us see the explanation of this stanza. The poet says that every day it is the beauty which fills us with the spirit to live. It is the beauty which builds the desire in us to live through there are sad moments and cruel people around us. So here the poet wants to say that without beauty, the earth will be full of cruel people, sad and gloomy moments. It is the beauty which is created by God which helps us to remove the sadness from our hearts. The poet wants to say that it is beauty which removes all the sadness and the problems from our hearts. Now see what are the literary devices used by the poet in this stanza. First is anaphora. Anaphora means use of same word in two consecutive lines. We can see of noble natures, of all the unhealthy. The same word of. Next is alliteration. Use of consonant sound at the start of two words which are closely in series. We can see B in band bind, N in noble nature, S in some shape. These words are repeated, so the poet uses alliteration. Then metaphor. Metaphor means when we compare two things. Wreathing a flowery band. The beautiful things of our life bind us to the earth. Here comparison is there. Inversion. What is the meaning of inversion? Normal order of words is reversed. When we reversed normal order of words. In this line you can see, are we wreathing a flowery band? There is no question mark. Actually we reverse the order of the word. First we should come, then are should come, but we reverse the order. Are we wreathing a flowery band? In this way the poet used inversion here. So dear students, this much is enough for this lecture. We cover two stanzas. In our next lecture we will cover the remaining stanzas. Till then, have a nice day.